Hi everybody, this is Carol Stewart. It's week number two about words. Thank you for coming back and watching this video, or if this is the first video you're watching about me, go back to week number one. I think it will make sense to you. I'm talking about words. The whole reason for me to do this whole channel was because I have a lot of friends that are Christians, and we learn so much about the Bible, but nobody ever really talks about how to apply what we learn in the Bible. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I actually even read and study law of attraction too. I hate that topic, law of attraction. It sounds so, I don't know, it sounds cold, or maybe I just don't even like it. It's hard to understand. Both religion and law of attraction sometimes are hard to understand. So I want to kind of bridge them together for modernization so we can, kind of understand what's going on in the Bible, so we can understand it more clearly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I just want to do a quick recap. I had a lot of friends over the last week say, your words are powerful. I'm glad it got through to them. First week was, your words have power. And it says in the Bible, in Mark 11:22 through, I said through 24, but I really kind of went 11:22 through 23, and today I'm going to do more of 24. But, I honestly think that Jesus had all the advice to give us, and we just needed to listen to it. And that's what I want you to understand, that I'm trying to relay to you, is I think that he had some really good advice, and hopefully you can learn from what I'm trying to say and teach. But in the Bible, he said to say to the mountain, when you have problems, say to the mountain. Don't always pray, oh God, I need help, I'm financial. I'm not saying you can't do that, and I'm not the expert on prayer, but I do know that we should listen to what Jesus says, and Jesus does say to the mountain. I actually even, I told you guys to put something like this up, maybe draw something like this, maybe put it on your mirror, words have power, just to continually refresh your thoughts that you should watch your words. And I also ask you if you could write a list, or try to keep a book or a diary of everything that you're saying. Well, I know that was really hard to say that. It was a big request. I don't know how many people did it, or if you're still doing it, or if you only did it a day or two, because I watched myself with it. And what I noticed is you go through spurts. Like, there were times that I would be like, oh, it was such a crazy cold week. And I'd be, oh, it's cold, oh, I gotta warm my car up, or oh, I gotta, complaints. And I think your complaints is a habit. It's kind of like it becomes a bad habit. So maybe that's something that you can work on if you have a problem in that area. And I found myself complaining about my customers, even though I love my customers, and I survived because of my customers. I found myself doing things like this. Like, I had a customer who I worked with like 2 to 3 months ago on finding product for them. They were doing an event and they needed product, and I helped them. Well, I would like to get the order in a timely fashion, but what happened was I got the order at the very last minute. I had to kind of move things around. Other customers had to come first. I had to scramble at the last minute. And I kept thinking about my mother, because my mother was very calm and cool. I'm probably more like my dad, but some people think I'm a lot like her. But so I found myself stopping and saying, don't complain. Don't do those words. Don't go, oh gosh, now they want it in a rush, even though I gave it to them far, far in advance. So I stopped myself and I said, no problem, I'll get that to you. And sometimes I have friends and family members, and different people tell me sometimes, you can be too nice and you can get walked on. Maybe I do. But I am getting more aware of my words, and I hope you are too. I hope that helped you. I also put something like this up on my mirror. This is my beautiful mountain. It was a mountain, and I put, say to the mountain. Okay, now we all have our own issues, right? Well, my issues, I put customers paying on time, because sometimes that's a problem. And right now, that is my issue. They're not paying on time. Like, a lot of them do. Don't get me wrong. But there are some that are not paying on time. So I put, say to the mountain. Customers, pay on time. And my second thing I put was fat, leave my body. And I did lose 3 pounds this week, so maybe my words did work. So as we refresh, when Jesus tells us to say to the mountain, the mountain cast into the sea and be removed. In other words, issues, what do I call it? Gosh, I need my glasses. Yeah, like your words. No, that's not it. Sorry. Oh, talk to the problem. In other words, say, problem, go away. And the things that I didn't say in the last video, I want to say a little bit more, because I did say a few things. Like I said, car payment, be paid. But maybe it should be more like this. If you have cancer in your body, cancer, leave my body. You talk to that problem. Talk to your issue. Pain, leave my body. Cancer, leave my body. Go away. I'm talking to fat, leave my body. It could be, today, all my bills will be paid and caught up. Money, come to me. Money, come to me. Photo of the mountain should be in your bathroom. So you remind yourself. And somebody said to me, I had a friend call and say she liked it. She liked the video. And she said, how often do you have to say these things? Do you say it and then you have to wait, and if it doesn't come in a couple of days, you say it again? What do you have to do? Well, that's why we're going to talk this week about the next verse in the Bible, which says, and I did read the whole thing last week, but it says, Jesus says, have faith in God. Verily I say unto you, you can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you say. If you go back and read it, and it's in the St. James Version of the Bible, it says, say 3 times, and it says, believe 1 time. So you do have to believe, obviously. It says, have faith in God. Verily I say unto you, if you shall not doubt in your heart, but you believe what you say, I'm kind of translating it. If you believe what you say, in other words, if you have the confidence to know that what you say will come true, then say it. Okay, so maybe this is the area that everybody misses it. Maybe they say, oh gosh, car payment be paid. And then after they say it, they go, oh gosh, how am I going to pay it? I don't have the money to pay it. I only have the money to pay my house. I only have the money. How is it going to come? So you have to start to work on yourself and convince yourself that you have the power. Once again, me and my power word, you have the power to convince yourself. So I think, this is what the law of attraction I think is really good at, is they want you to visualize it. So maybe you visualize yourself going to the bank and putting your money in the bank to pay for your car payment. Or maybe you're writing out the check to the car payment. You don't have the money in the bank yet, but you write it out, put it in an envelope with a stamp on it, ready to go. And you say, the money will come. Somehow, the money comes. It's those confident words that you continually say to yourself that makes you believe. So if you continually say, you know what? It'll come. I'm not worried. Somehow, money always comes. Somehow. Now, I'm going to tell a story about my friend Dan. Dan the pizza man, we called him because he was my customer at one time. He's older now, but he had a pizza chain, Pecky's Pizza. And he became my friend, still is my friend. He told me a story, and I never forgot the story. It was so cute. It was a story about his mom. Uh-oh. His mom. And he told me that when he was a kid, I don't know the exact age, probably like 10 to 12. He said he was very young, and he said they were supposed to go on vacation. It was his time that his dad had time off, and they were going on vacation, but they didn't have the money. And he said his mom did something that he thought was kind of like weird or funny, but it worked. What he did is he said his mom was making sandwiches and wrapping them in paper like they did back in the 40s. And he said, or maybe it was the 50s, he would wrap up his paper, or wrap up the lunches, put them in a box, lunch box, or what is it called? oh, I can't think of the word, a lunch basket or whatever. And he would watch her. She would put it in the car, and she put blankets in the car, and she'd tell every child to pack up, for the vacation. They were going to be gone for a week. They were going to this place, I think he said Michigan, a beach. It was a vacation. And I remember he told me he was thinking, God, we don't have the money to go. How are we going to go? I don't know. And she said, don't worry. Don't worry. She said, it will come. Somehow it will come. And then what happened was, sorry, my dog keeps getting in my way. So then all of a sudden, sorry, that's not professional. So then she said that, he said that they went to church, the whole family went to church, and he said, right after church, somebody came up to him, some couple, and they said, we wanted to bless you. We wanted to bless your family. We see you in church every week. You're devoted. You're whatever. We have extra money, and we wanted to bless you. And he said, there she goes. She got that money. They got to go on that vacation. He said he learned a lot from that. But I guess we all know people like that. We also know people, and I think somebody could say about me, that say things like, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. Or they say, we all know who Mariah Carey is. They say when she was little, her mom would laugh because she'd say, Mom, I'm going to have a housekeeper, and I'm going to be rich, whatever. That's what she said. Well, some people dream. Like behind me is a sign that says, dream. And I always say, dream big. My new word is make it happen. And actually my other channel is all going to say make it happen. But what I'm trying to say, I'm rambling on, is that you gotta believe what you say. You gotta believe what you say. You gotta learn to know that your words are powerful. So don't try to figure it out. Don't try to go, oh gosh, I need to pay my car payment. It's $300 and I have to have $300 in my account. I don't have it in my account. I'm gonna write a check out because guess what? The money's going to be in there. Now, don't cash the check until the money's in there. But say to yourself, I don't know, I give it up. Let the angels take care of it. Or let the universe, some people say, take care of it. Let God take care of it. Let whoever. But have the confidence and believe in yourself. And talk to yourself and tell yourself it will. It always does. Because I can tell you countless times I've had situations happen. All kinds of situations happen, and it does. Maybe sometimes don't tell people. When I first got into business, when I first got into business, both my parents were gone, but I wanted to tell somebody, like I'd be all excited, I got a big, huge sale, and I wanted to tell somebody. I wanted to tell somebody, and I would tell people, and you can't do that. Jim's really good at not doing that way. He's never been that way. He's not a bragger, and I can be considered a bragger. Or maybe I just wanted to talk, like I was happy and proud of myself. I wanted to say it. But anyways, the bottom line is this. Don't be telling everybody your stuff. And don't even say, I don't have money in my checking account for my car payment, but it will be there somehow. Don't. Tell yourself. Don't tell anybody else. Tell yourself. Say, I don't know how it's going to be there, God. You always work miracles. I don't claim to know how you do things. I don't even claim to know why you do things, but I know you, and you always come through for me. You always have my back, God. And you know what? Today, I declare that the money will be in my account. My mountain said, I'm talking to my mountain, because you told me in the Bible to talk to my mountain. My mountain is for a car payment. So today, my money will be in there for a car payment. And then let it go. Let it go. But believe it. And just keep your mind busy. Don't be thinking every day, oh, did it come in? Oh, God, it didn't come in. You gotta keep the faith. Keep the faith. So that's what I'm talking about. Keep your faith. At the very end of the first video, I don't know if you heard where I said death and life, or I might have said life and death, are in the power of the tongue. Okay, that's in the Bible, Proverbs 18:21. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. he who eats it will eat from its fruit. So, what does that mean? That means that your tongue is also very powerful, which is your words. Your tongue is an instrument, they say. Like I said before, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. We probably heard that from our mother, right? Mothers would tell kids that. I was thinking about this. When you're little, kids say mean things, right? Okay, we know that. But maybe they say something like this: sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. You've heard that. But do they? I think words hurt. I did volunteer work back in the 90s, a long time ago. I did volunteer work at the battered women's shelter. And I did it. It was right after the OJ thing. And I remember they were saying that there was something in the paper saying they were looking for confident women, independent women, single women. It was, an awareness to abuse with the OJ thing. And I decided to do it. And I got trained, and it was really interesting. But if you ask me about the whole thing, about the whole experience that I had, I would say the one thing that I remember the most is that these women would come in, have a bad situation with a man, their husband. Okay, that's not good, but let's say they did. And they'd have their children, and they'd have blood all over them, and they were beat up and really, really bad. And you'd sit down with them to talk to them, and guess what they would say? They would say, he told me that I'm never going to amount to anything, that I'm ugly, I'm fat. He told me that I was very stupid. I cook him dinner every night, and he says, all the words. That's all he talked about, was all the words. And they didn't always remember about what he did to them. And, we've heard that for a long time about, children grow up hearing things that their parents tell them, and they remember that. You remember your words. So I wrote that down just because I think that's really something we should think about. Somebody, when you're a kid, you hear, step on a crack, you break your mother's back, and you always try to be so careful walking to school in those cracks so you don't step on a crack. I mean, all those things, all those words you hear throughout your life. So it says here, again, I'll read it. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. He who eats it will eat from the fruit of it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe, if you go around and you say, wow, that person's really, really successful. They have a great husband. They have a great children, a good life. They have a really good life. What are they doing? And then you see somebody that's a good person and they have a bad life. Now, I'm not the expert. Obviously, God is. But maybe one is better at controlling their words than the other. Because it says life and death are in the power of your tongue. Like your life, if it's, not death and life could be good and bad. The good and bad is what is coming from your mouth. It says you eat the fruit of it. It even said here in the NIV version, or the NLT version, sorry. It says in Proverbs 18:20, which is right before it, the verse right before it, it says, a man's belly should be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth. So what does that mean? It also says, translated, it says, wise words satisfy you like a good meal. And it says, the right words bring satisfaction. So that could be you telling somebody, good job. Or you have a child, good job. Maybe they're doing something that they're, every single day, you see them doing their homework. And you think in your mind, well, that's what they're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to do homework every day. But maybe you take one step further and you say, good job, Carol. You did your homework today. Maybe those words are encouragement. Maybe you can make such a difference. It says you eat of it. That's what's so interesting to me when you read that. It says you eat of it. So maybe good words bring good life. I sound Chinese, don't I? And Proverbs is really interesting. Proverbs is like, in my book, it's like, kind of like poetry. It's like, you know, like sayings that we know. Like I said, you might have heard your mom say, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all. That's kind of like a mom statement, right? So, Proverbs is like that. It's teaching you about different things. So this week, gosh, I can't believe it's already at 8 minutes right now. It is going fast. So, I just want to break with this because I don't want to get too long on these videos. So, let's back it up. Week 1 was about words are powerful. And, you know, maybe you should try this week because I kept looking at it. And I kept saying, my customers are going to pay on time. And guess what? Oh, it happened to be one day, there's one particular customer who was very late. And I said this customer's name, and I said, this customer will pay today. Today they'll pay. I said today. And guess what? 2 hours later, they paid. So this stuff does work. You have to believe in it and have confidence and train yourself to believe yourself. Okay? And words have power. That's the first week. The second week, which I didn't draw out yet, is going to say, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Your tongue. Your tongue has power. So show it. I want you to believe in it. I want you to believe in yourself. Okay? And if you like this, please like it and subscribe. I think it's the bottom right down there because I only have 4 people in the first week, but I haven't really told many people that I'm doing this yet. My friend did post it, but that's where we're at right now. Week 2 is life and death are in the power of the tongue. Bye.